All right, we're just going to jump into it because for some reason, we're not playing anything over the air. Because this is what I don't know what's going on here. Hey, this is this is a fantastic day already. I'm so glad that the snow didn't keep us from coming. Does somebody want to even see if we're broadcasting anything anywhere? Because I don't. Man, hey, it is Wednesday. It is noon. It is time for Cluster F Radio, the Life Radio Show. Here, I'm your host, Don Smith. No intro today, just because that I thought it would be fun if we couldn't play anything over the air. So, are we actually broadcasting, Scotty? Okay. See, we just can't we can't play anything over the air. That's fantastic. Anyway, Patrick, get on that. Patrick's in a bad mood, so I'm not going to mess with him.
He looked like he was. He gave me a look like, get back in there, sir.
Get
Shut
back
the
in
door.
there,
My
Scotty.
friend said he can hear us on the website.
Okay. Well, yeah, that works.
There's somebody on the website, Don.
Thank you, Carrie
look at that.
Steinbrook.
Look at that. Yeah. Well, let's try to play the intro again and see if they can hear that. Then you'll ask them if they can hear the intro, because here's where the intro should be playing.
Carrie, can you hear the intro?
Here in all this silence.
Check. Testing 1, 2.
Yes. No
She's
intro.
typing.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Well, let's wait.
Yeah.
Let's wait and make sure we're all good. Okay.
She sent me a picture of a donkey.
Oh, awesome. So I guess
I'm
that's...
assuming.
It's her on a camel.
Oh, that's a camel. Oh, look at the camel
Girl,
toes.
focus. Can you hear the intro? Okay, I need you to focus, Carrie.
If it's going on in the background somewhere. See, it's not...
She said, no.
No. Okay.
Can you hear us
awesome.
talking?
Awesome. Well, hey, if she heard you ask if we could...
Yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah. Great. We are on fire here. In the
Yeah, my
radio
face is on
station.
fire, man. These
Yeah.
Scotty's all hopped up on pre-workout.
and I have
This
no
is gonna be
intention of going to the gym.
Yeah. This is going to be a good show. You're going to be lifting the desk here in a minute. We're gonna...
About to honk out.
Anyway, my guests today are Scotty Mays and Lori Graves. Lori all the way in from Chillicothe.
Well, thanks, Dawn.
See, I had some clip about the snow I was going to play, but since I can't play anything over the air, we'll just have to talk about the snow.
Talk it out. Yeah.
Snow sucks. Moving on.
Yeah.
Welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks. Thanks for having me back.
Yeah, it's been a while. It's been a couple years since you've made the journey all the way out to Wright State's radio station.
It has been. I think I was here with Mike Canistero last time, I believe.
Yeah, sounds right. He's on a lot. Yeah. Although he hasn't been for a while because we moved to day shift and he teaches.
He splits
chemistry.
atoms.
Yeah. Yes.
He's molding today's youth.
Yeah, yes. There you go. Scotty Mays, and he's got him a can of Coke, and he's got his vitamin
A
supplements.
can of Coke, everybody.
A can of Coke.
Relax.
Yes, yeah, but I was
This
worried.
is pre-workout supplement.
He said he took a quote-unquote supplement, and I was a little concerned at first. So it's
No, we're good. We're good. Is it hot in here? I don't know. Am I talking fast?
It is a little hot.
Like
It's
I'm
okay.
sweating.
It's okay. Well, I've got a lot of coffee in me, so I haven't noticed a thing. It is a little warm. It's a little warm.
I'm
I can't really
exhausted,
talk.
so I'm the exact opposite of you.
Well, we'll have a good balance today. Then we'll have hyper and low key.
If she passes out on Narcan,
Yeah,
I don't know if that works for narcolepsy or not.
it should. Narcolepsy. Yeah,
Hey!
you would think
Clever.
that would have something
If
to
you've
do
got
with
any,
it.
I'll take a hit to try it out. And see. We can do an experiment here today.
Yeah. Scotty, you said you're about to start a new job. Can we talk about that
Hey.
or no?
No, absolutely.
Is it not certain yet? You're still, because you said you're waiting on the background check to go through. So I don't really know how much we can talk about.
This
at
is
this
the
point.
one form of employment where they realize your background check's not going to be good.
Right.
So, and they encourage that because apparently you're able to relate to a lot of people in this type of work. But
there you go.
yeah, I will be. I'll be starting at the county jail as a peer support specialist.
Awesome.
So,
starting but not serving. So that's
right. Yes,
that's good. That's good.
Or it just could be easy for them to, keep me there.
That could be.
Back child support catches up to you.
Yeah, that's never good.
No.
Sorry, I'm distracted by thinking.
Back
where the
child
hell am I?
support.
Yeah, back child support. It's like
You're
I'm trying to think. I'm going through my mental Rolodex.
You're like, do I have
seeing if
arrearages right now?
Do I even have a kid? I don't know. That's not. No, I don't think I do.
Well, this would be the place to find out, right?
Yeah. Yeah, well, there are a lot of bearded hipsters running around
there
that
really
look a little
are,
like
yeah.
me, so I I don't know, but I'm assuming they're not mine if they can get to college. So
Very true.
yeah, that's
Very true.
Well, I mean, you're here at college.
just in the radio, staring through the window, creeping in. Actually, I am a student. I'm working on my my MBA now.
There you go. There
Because
you go.
what else am I going to do?
Now, if you had kids, would they get cheap tuition to go here because you do the radio?
No, they would when I actually worked here, because for a while I actually worked here as a HVAC
okay.
maintenance man.
Okay.
So, and I got the hell out.
How do you, so when is the NBA draft? Can you dunk? Or is it M or NBA?
I can dunk donuts, but that's about it.
Nice.
That's
It's a first-round
not in this
pick.
cup because it's got a lid, which is a problem for me. But no, I MBA.
M, as in Michael.
Yeah,
Jordan.
but which stands for mother. I mean, anyway. So Lori,
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
okay,
a good
sure,
start.
yeah.
how is Chillicothe? You do pretty much all the shows in Chillicothe.
Yeah,
You
I'm
run-
the comic down there.
You are you
Yeah.
are the queen of Chillicothe comedy, if you want that moniker. I don't.
And then some.
It's sometimes I don't know. That's a questionable moniker. I don't know. I guess if you don't know Chillicothe, it would be great. So I guess.
Well,
I
yeah,
mean,
yeah. If you
it's
know
good.
Chillicothe, then you probably need Narcan from whatever.
Actually,
is it
we're
getting
doing
better?
good things down there with that. We got my friend Michelle McAllister does the heroin project, and they've
wow.
been having town hall meetings and been doing a lot of stuff to make some progress down there with
Good,
that. So things are looking up for Chillicothe. We're not what the Huffington Post says we are. As Dayton, we both get a bad rap. I mean,
Absolutely.
you guys did pass us though. We're number 2, I think now,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So, but
Wow.
still,
So
I mean,
Dayton's number 1 again.
Yeah.
That's
but you guys get it bad. I mean, I've been coming to Dayton for years. I don't see it just like they do with Chillicothe. They make it seem like we've got just piles of heroin needles on the
Well,
street.
yeah, it's just,
You fall and stumble into somebody like strung out. And that's not.
Yeah.
I mean, we've got it's like Dayton. You got good areas. You got bad areas. But we're doing
some
good things.
some areas where you do stumble into people.
Yeah, you do. I mean, everybody has that. So, but
Yeah.
Huffington Post can suck it because I'm sick of that. We're just all tired of that, of the documentaries and all the stuff. I mean,
No,
so.
I really haven't paid attention.
Do you guys have any? We have a couple.
oh, yeah.
Yeah, we have Spike and ID, which that leaked over into the missing women.
Well, you need to step your game up. We
Which
have
is-
MSNBC and CNN.
Oh, I think they've been, but they didn't do
Yeah,
documentaries.
they're like, oh, this
so,
is Chillicothe.
yeah, but
Right. But they'll go to
missing
Portsmouth.
women. Is that a?
that is a thing. We did have some women missing. There still are a couple missing, and it's unfortunate. They were into that lifestyle. That's would lead to that,
To
and it's unfortunate.
disappearance, yeah.
And I do feel for those families. They are still looking for a couple of them. They found a couple. Were passed away, but it's unfortunate. But that kind of put us in a bad light for a while. People thought there was things we had a serial killer and things, and it boils down to the drug problem that everybody has.
Well, yeah, that is
And-
kind of a serial killer.
Yeah,
It
and
just
there are
keeps going.
families struggling
Yeah.
still. There are families still missing, and I hope those families get some closure someday.
Yeah.
They need it.
Yeah, I hadn't heard anything about those.
Yeah,
out there,
you are
so.
probably the only one. I get asked
Probably,
that everywhere I go.
probably. Well,
Are you afraid to be in Chillicothe? Are you afraid to live there? I'm like, no, I'm not.
I actually listen to my own station for my main source of
There you
news.
go.
So that's, and my own show. I get the news from me.
Sure.
That's so a lot
It's
of it's
reliable,
made up. Yeah.
dependable.
Exactly.
Well, I have to have you come down
So-
sometime, Scotty. I'll get my friend Michelle and talk to one of their town halls or
Absolutely.
something.
Yeah, I would love to.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Talk about recovery. We had another recovery success story in Chillicothe. Yeah, Jay Armstrong last night.
Yeah, there
performed.
you go.
I
So-
love that guy.
Yeah. So
Yeah, good dude.
He is.
I've had him in here once. I think.
And he will murder you, but out of love.
yeah, to be
Oh
loved.
yeah, yeah, absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely.
He's got some funny stories.
Oh,
He's got some stories. Like
Yeah.
I'm sure you do about, looking back now, but yeah. I have to have you down. Come down
yeah,
and hang out.
absolutely.
Talk to some of the kids and
I might just go off the grid and relocate
there you go.
Yeah.
Come down.
because nothing says off the grid like
Chillicothe.
Chillicothe.
I do think we are a witness protection town sometimes. Because when I worked in it for 12 years, I would meet people and they, how you try to get their story, and it was always shady and they never wanted to. And I have asked people, are you in witness protection? Did they locate you here? And they would never answer me. So I'm thinking we are a town where they just put people that are trying to hide.
You know, I do have to
That
say
could
this,
be.
though. What you've done for the comedy community and in Chillicothe, like the people there that come to see, I mean, these are amazing people, you know, and I love going up there to do like mics and stuff.
Yeah.
I don't get up there as much as I'd like to, but the people there, they're welcoming. They're
Oh, yeah.
very cool. Very cool
Yeah,
people.
I'm going to have to get out there. 'cause
I'm
I haven't
fortunate.
been in a while.
Fortunate. They come out to shows. They support the comics.
We need to move Wiley's up to Chillicothe. We would
There you go.
pack it
Yeah,
out.
hey.
Yeah,
We'd
because
pack it
I
out.
did the Life Radio Show Presents. The first show was last Thursday,
Uh-huh.
and we had a small crowd. It was a good crowd. They were there to laugh, which is good, but, you know, still, it's 12 people. But I had fun. Just small numbers.
I am fortunate. They come in. They come out. They come in. They support.
Well, that says a lot about your character, though, too.
But it didn't happen overnight. I mean, this is year 7 or 8. It's been cultivated, and but they're used to it now. And I'm fortunate because I can bring guys in like you guys that are good comics, and we do put on good shows. And even my mic, I mean, everyone gets applause. They're very supportive. They know what it is. They know there's kids. They're just starting out or people, and they're fun. We like to laugh, and it's a good time. They're very supportive of me, and I appreciate it very much. So.
That's good. That's good. But that's what we need here. We need more of that.
Yeah. Yep.
We need, like lots more of that. We need lots of people to go to Wiley's for every show and drink
Every
a lot.
show. Speaking
you
of
go.
that, that's a good segue, though. I mean, I
It
think
is,
there's
yeah.
something coming up a week here the next week and a half, right?
Oh, well,
yeah, you forgot, right? Because you're on that show.
I didn't forget that I am on the Cry for Help show,
Mm-hmm.
which will be my third show.
We
in
are
6
literally
months.
crying for
I
help.
hadn't been on stage in 6 months, and I was on twice. I was up twice last week,
Nice.
and not as rusty as I thought I would be. Still pretty rusty.
We'll
But
just start calling you Rusty.
yeah, that'll work. We have a call coming in.
You're kidding
Should I
me.
answer?
Absolutely.
We can't play music. Should we try to see if we can actually get the phone
Yes.
to work?
Do it.
Headphones on. Can we hear?
Yeah,
I hope it's
we,
for an
we
interview.
should be able to hear. Yeah, that would be cool. Hey, all right,
And
awesome.
they hung up. There
Thank
we
you,
go.
thank you for calling.
Oh,
Was that you, Carrie?
Yeah, so
My
whoever
one
was
friend
gave up.
listening.
Yep.
Was that you? Yeah.
Yep. There's this guy walking down the hall with a cell phone. He was just playing a
Yep.
prank.
like, no.
That's how they are. That's how they are. See, here he goes again.
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's,
Pick it up.
let's try it again.
Yep.
We're just going to keep doing this all
Yep.
day.
That's it.
Wakanda forever, Wakanda forever,
What-
Oh, hey,
Wakanda
yeah.
forever, Wakanda.
Why does that sound like Nate Washington?
Is this the king of Wakanda? Is this again? Hello? All right.
Okay.
Oh, that's-
Hey, thanks for calling.
Thanks,
Thanks,
Nate Washington.
Yep,
Love you,
man.
thanks for calling, Ed.
My friend wants to know the number to call. What's the number to call?
937-775-5555.
I should have said 1-866-4
Yeah.
937-775-5555.
Yep.
That sounds
is
fake.
that is not a fake Hollywood number.
775 is a Chillicothe first 3 numbers. Believe it or
Oh
not.
man.
The area code?
There you go.
Yeah.
So yeah, they'll think they'll
Area
really
code
confuse people
740,
out
but all of
there
ours
now.
are 774, 775, 773. So, yeah.
Yeah, that'll just confuse all of
I think that might be the Domino's number in Chillicothe. 774.
Let's order a pizza.
Yeah, we should order. Let's go deliver. All right.
You got 30 minutes.
30 minutes or less. Or
Free.
it's free.
Yeah.
That's how we roll. Yeah. We'll take calls. Why not? We need all the help we can get some days.
Every day.
I mean, because we can't play music, so we got a call coming in already. We're just going to.
All right.
Oh, yeah.
This is hot, man.
Woohoo!
Maybe. No, they hung up already.
Oh, no.
Here they are. You're this is the
Yep,
life.
you're
This is the
there.
air. You're on the life. Hello. All right. Thanks for calling in. This is
It sounded like somebody picked up.
Oh,
but
hey, here we are. Here
I
we
can't
are.
hear anything.
You can't hear anything?
This is Carrie Steinbrook. I just
Hi.
want
Let me
to call
try
and say hi
this.
to my friend Lori.
Hi,
Hello?
Carrie.
Can you hear anything?
Hi. I can now when you talk.
You're caller 10.
Okay. Yeah, you're caller. We're caller 3. We can't count.
You
so we're
win
all
my
good.
chapstick. That's
Oh, that's a good egg.
Oh, you have like 18,000 of them in your purse. Do I get to pick a flavor?
Do you really?
Yeah, this is the only one I have with me.
She's like the Willy Wonka of chapstick.
She knows
Wow.
my
It is.
chapstick addiction. I have. It's bad. Yeah,
I'm sorry to make it public, Lori. I'm sorry.
yeah. Everyone knows I have like 12 chapsticks on me at all
The
times.
softest lips in Chillicothe.
That's how she gets so many people to her show.
There you go. And
Exactly.
like bump
It's
free.
late.
Thank you very much. So yeah, I have no cold sores or anything open. You at work, Carrie?
Good.
Yeah, I am actually. I reserved a conference room just for this occasion.
Nice.
Wow.
I have friends that have jobs with conference rooms.
Wow.
That is amazing.
You need to call mandatory meeting right now.
I totally did. I'm sitting in a room with a very large couch, like an IKEA couch, and a nice little cozy room. I reserved it just for the occasion. So, yeah.
Wow.
I
Yeah.
know.
See, people make reservations to call into the show.
I have
feel
friends that
important
are going
now.
places, unlike me.
really
I have
sounds
friends
like
that
it.
are going
Don't you
places.
realize that you have on your show? It's Lori Graves. I mean, my God, you know
That's
who she
true.
is?
That's true. I do. Yeah. The queen of Chillicothe comedy.
I know.
What I've
And
heard.
then some.
And then
And
some.
I'm technically calling from under the pumpkin in Circleville.
Oh, okay.
You guys know Circleville? It's
Mhm.
5 hours north of Chillicothe. Scotty, we got to get you out more to small towns.
I know.
The Circleville Pumpkin Show? You've never heard of the A million people go to that every year.
I'm sorry, I've also never been to the pumpkin show.
Okay,
That
that
I
look
was
that you're doing right there.
So you live there and you've never been to the pumpkin show that she's now
No,
scolding Scotty
correction.
for.
I live in Chillicothe. I
Oh,
work
okay.
in Circleville.
You work
Big
in
difference.
Circleville. Okay. Yeah, absolutely.
You go when you're young, and then when you're an adult, it's one of those things you avoid because there are so many people
So many
there,
people.
and
Yeah.
there are only so many food items you can eat made out of pumpkin before it nauseates you. And
Yeah,
then,
I would imagine.
say no to pumpkin burritos. I can tell you that.
Ew.
I don't think I would ever say yes to such a thing.
They weren't good.
Pumpkin burger. No,
yeah,
no
pumpkin
pumpkin burger
burgers,
either.
everything. Yeah.
Wow.
World's biggest pumpkins are there, like thousands pound
There's
pumpkins.
just something wrong with that. The guys that I work with, a couple of those guys actually participate in like the biggest pumpkin. I'm like, what in the hell are you doing to those pumpkins? And they can get that. I mean, they have to be doing some kind of radioactive shit.
They
There's no
inject
way.
them with Scotty's pre-workout, and
That's
then
right.
that's
That's
what
right.
it is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no shit. I'm sorry. Am I not supposed to?
So live radio is fun.
So live
Yeah,
radio
yeah,
and the
live
four-letter word was good, Carrie. It's nice talking to you. You have a good day.
Okay, well,
No, girl, you just can't cuss. We're actually on a radio station, so
okay, well, I do apologize.
Oh,
it's okay. Dawn will forgive
She
you.
sounded so
It's not
innocent.
the first time. We've had much worse.
Hey,
At least I didn't. It was just the S, not the F.
Right.
There we
right.
go.
Yeah, that's happened before.
That's happened before.
Has it?
Leslie Battle.
Yeah.
oh, did Leslie pop the F word?
Yeah,
We've
she
had-
was on a
we've had a
call-in.
handful.
She was sick in bed and did a call in. It
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
was hilarious.
Yeah. It was.
I loved it.
Well, I do need to get back to work. I just want to call in and give my girl Lori some support. I'm glad you guys have her on the radio. She's awesome, and I don't get to see her in person live very often on stage, but she comes over to the house and usually
Does a
tells
show.
me her shtick before
shows.
she gets on the stage.
Report
So
shows.
it's
That's
nice.
good.
Yes.
That's good.
Yeah. Well, thanks for taking my call. You guys enjoy the rest of your day. Lori, I love you, girl.
Love you, girl.
Bye bye.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Hey, so I'll see your pumpkin festival and raise you a pretzel festival. Are you
Where's
familiar with that?
No, I have the book of the Ohio festivals. I
Yeah.
want to try to go to as many as I can.
So my hometown, Germantown,
Okay.
we have the pretzel festival.
When is it? I will attend.
It is at the end of every September.
Okay. All right.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's
Yep.
like the
And there's
Oktoberfest
one
right
pretzel
into the
stand.
pretzel festival.
There's
One pretzel.
One pretzel
Are
stand.
we really,
pretzel
at
stand.
the
are we
pretzel
really getting
festival.
another
Yeah.
call? This is a busy show.
This is. We need
Wonder if
to
this
give
is
away
Ed
some
John
of your
again.
wife's bank account money for this.
See, if she's listening, I'm going to be in deep crap when
You're
I
in
get
trouble.
home. This is
That
live.
is
You're
my
on the
word,
air.
And it was final. Hello, this is the king of Wakanda.
I was wondering if you were going to call
Yeah,
back,
that
King.
sounds like Ed John
Hello,
now.
Yeah,
hello,
we-
this is the
we-
king.
we have
I do
the-
not know who this is the king of Wakanda calling the live radio.
Well, this is the Life Radio listening to the King of Wakanda.
Why do you
what's
sound like
happening,
you're
King?
Jordanian?
Have you seen my movie? Have you seen my movie?
You have a
John
movie?
Smith, have you seen my movie?
Which
No.
movie's that?
I have not seen the Black Panther.
You have not. It is Black Panther. It is not the Black Panther. It is Black Panther.
I've
you
heard
seen
of
my
it.
movie?
I've heard of it. I have not
I
seen
have
it yet.
called repeatedly, Don Smith of Fairborn, and you have not complied to my orders.
We don't have to put up with
not-
these kinds of
you lied.
threats, sir.
Yeah, I do not negotiate with.
This is not a demand. This is a request from the king of Wakanda. You and the man with the mohawk have to see my movie. You and the man with the mohawk.
How do you know I
to
have a
see
mohawk?
My movie.
Yeah, you must be famous in Wakanda.
$1 billion,
Scotty, is all I can see.
$1 billion in revenue, and you have not seen my movie.
Nope, I'm going to
Well,
wait
yeah,
for it to come
a
out on the
billion-
fire stick.
Well,
Look, we have.
That got him.
Look, this is insubordination. This is insubordination. Of WSSU, this is insubordination.
It can't be insubordination. I don't work for you.
I support your show, and you don't see my movie.
Have you been to the Pretzel Festival?
or the Circleville Pumpkin Festival.
I love pretzels, but no. I love pretzels, but no.
What about the Circleville Pumpkin Festival?
I am aware. I am as the king of Wakanda. I am aware. Don
Well,
Smith,
in his
see my
defense,
movie this
you're
week.
not going to see a
See
lot
my
of
movie.
Wakandas at the Germantown
I
Pretzel
will try.
Festival.
I will try. But $1 billion in revenue, they don't need my money too.
Much love to Lori Graves and much love to the Joker with the mohawk. See my movie. See
Okay.
my movie this week, Don Smith.
I will do what I can, King.
Wakanda forever. Wakanda forever.
Absolutely.
Love you, King.
Thank
Hey.
you. Thank you.
Have a good day.
My friend Megan said, Lori, let's set up this Pretzel Fest. I'm in, girl. I'm in.
There you go. All right. Well, I think here's what I'm going to try. I'm going to do the comedy rundown. I'm going to try to get a song to work.
Okay.
I hit a couple of random buttons over here,
Uh-huh.
so we'll see if I hit the right random buttons. Because I noticed when we tried to take a call, she wasn't hearing us because there were a couple buttons that weren't hit. Because people get in here and mess with stuff, and it just
The buttons.
You don't touch my levels.
It's always people playing with my buttons.
It's the buttons.
As well. It's the story of my life. People can't stop
Pushing
touching my
Don's buttons.
Yep, exactly. Anyway, here's this week's Comedy Rundown brought to you by the legendary Wiley's Comedy Club at 101 Pine Street in downtown Dayton's historic Oregon District. Call 224-JOKE or go to wileyscomedy.com for all the best in Dayton comedy. Thursday, March 22nd, Gabriel Iglesias, One Show Fits All World Tour is going to be at Wright State's Nutter Center. I was going to try to hit him into the radio, but I never got an answer back, so I probably shouldn't promote his show.
You know, that's sad.
I'm just kidding,
If you're going to
Fluffy.
be
You're
here,
all
you
right.
should be like, I would.
Right,
I would.
right.
If I was making
Absolutely.
50,
Yeah.
60,000 a show, I would do a radio spot.
Yeah, why not?
I'm fluffy.
Yeah, which, that's even better.
Yes.
Even better,
Yes.
because you're here.
Yes.
And yeah,
Yes.
I absolutely. Also, Thursday, March 22nd, open mic at the Hookah Bazaar at 958 Patterson Road in Dayton. That show starts at 10 p.m. Sign-ups if you want stage time are at 9:30. Thursday through Sunday, March 22nd through the 25th, Chris Porter is going to be at the Dayton Funny Bone at 88 Plum Street at the Green. Friday, March 23rd, Rascals presents a night of free stand-up comedy at the Spirited Goat at 118 Dayton Street in Yellow Springs. That show starts at 8 p.m. Friday and Saturday, the 23rd and 24th, Mike Brody is going to be at Wiley's Comedy Club at 101 Pine Street in the Oregon District. And Sunday, March 25th, Wiley Sunday Comics is back at Wiley's Comedy Club. That show starts at 8 p.m. with all your favorite local comics. That is it. As always, check out wileyscomedy.com, DaytonFunnyBone.com for details and tickets to upcoming shows. Now, let's see if we can get a song to work.
Okay, let's do it.
That would be fantastic. If it works, it's going to be Potter's Field.
Awesome.
Because Scotty's here, and he's a big fan.
And I'm an addict.
Yeah.
If it
to
doesn't
Potter's
work,
Field.
we'll just keep talking.
If it doesn't work, I'll sing.
Okay.
No,
Nice. We'll all break out in
Well,
song.
it'll be Potter's Field, so it'll be like, it'll be. Okay, let's see what we got. Awesome, and nothing. And
Yeah!
All right, and we're back.
That was a
and
great
yeah,
song.
That was
great song.
yeah. I didn't expect it to be that short, but here we are.
I can name that
These things
tune
happen.
in 1
These things-
second.
Yep. I can name that tune in no notes at all. So yeah, okay. We
So now what?
I don't know.
Dead air for 30, 60 seconds? How's
I
that
had
work?
no plans for this. I have no contingency plan. I have no plan. I have no plan A. You can't expect a
Right.
plan B when there's no plan A.
This is very true, very true.
Anyway, okay, moving on. Anybody got anything?
Hey, I died yesterday.
What's that?
I died yesterday.
You mean on stage or just in general?
Well, I do that quite
Okay,
often, but
okay.
in general, yeah, like in real life, I fake died yesterday.
You fake died.
Yeah, this movie that even you got props for being
okay.
being top of the line.
Okay, you're talking about Mike Shea's short film.
The
he's working
Monarch.
on. Yes, The Monarch.
Yes.
I didn't know you got to fake die.
How did you die?
A drug overdose.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Oh.
So it was
Don't you
like
hate
riding a
typecasting?
bike.
Go back in time. Okay, all right.
Don't you hate typecasting? I played a comedy club owner.
Right, what do I
It
look
was
like?
a
Just
stretch,
a junkie
yeah.
to you? Oh, okay, fair enough.
Yeah,
He's like,
okay,
well,
you
look
got-
how you're
Was
dressed.
that how you died? Was OD? Is that in the movie? Okay. What
Yeah.
drug did you OD on?
Heroin.
Heroin.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah.
not a stretch. Okay.
No,
Okay,
you know,
all right.
it was a good time. I
Yeah,
wasn't
well, there you
triggered.
go.
I said, I can really do method acting if you got it. He's like, nah, man, this is flour and brown sugar mix, so don't get excited.
Okay, that's good. That's good. Did you actually shoot?
Of course.
Oh, yeah,
not.
okay. So you went all the way. You
No.
well, that's
No, I didn't have a
dedication to the
spoon.
craft right there.
I hawked my spoon. So I don't have a spoon anymore. It was good silver,
Yeah.
man.
You said you don't want a spoon anymore.
No, I
was
don't
looking
have
so-
one.
I was looking so forward to spooning with you, Scotty.
He wants you to push his
I'm more of a
buttons.
forker.
Yep, spoon with me and
cameras.
push my buttons.
What are those cameras? What are they shooting?
We have cameras. Who shoot what?
Hey, shoot over here.
Oh, yeah, they're doing something out there.
Are they doing
She's
something?
she's only like the most popular lady you will ever meet.
Exactly,
This is Lori Graves. You need to
exactly.
get
This-
her on
yeah.
that film.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't do film. I like
See,
radio.
See, technically, we're on break playing a song right now, so we can say anything.
Oh, nobody can
anything
hear
we
us.
want. Yeah, no,
So I'm talking into this mic for no reason.
No, I'm kidding. We're still
Oh,
broadcasting.
okay.
Oh, I was like, what?
I'm like, I must look pretty stupid, like all up in here. Like, nah.
Like what?
Yeah, that's what I look like on stage.
Justin Wood said we're batting 1,000.
He said to
Absolutely,
bring back
absolutely.
the Wakanda guy.
Yeah.
Break-
Bring back the Wakanda guy.
hey, tell him to leave us alone. We're on break right now.
Yeah, Justin.
Okay,
Hello.
just
It's hard work.
listen to the song and enjoy it.
Scotty's
Right.
working into a
Yeah,
sweat.
look, I have the milkshake vein starting
Yeah.
to pop out of my head.
Wow, what
This-
supplement did you take, Scotty?
Dude, it is called Psychotic. And it's par for the course. It fits my personality. Well, at least one of them.
Is it
Perfect.
pre-workout?
Mm-hmm.
And it's called Psychotic?
Yep.
And that's why I don't go to the gym, because those people are crazy.
Because they're psychotic. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, you're not allowed to grunt at the gym I go to, so it's
Planet Fitness?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're not. You're not allowed to grunt.
You can't wear a
yeah.
tank top.
Yeah, yeah.
You can't,
But they don't
can't
judge,
grunt
Scotty.
that
They don't
way.
judge.
Yeah, right,
They don't judge.
right.
No, yeah.
I've never heard of
Yeah,
a
look
gym
at
you
Chad
can't
coming in
grunt
here with his gallon jug and his tank top, throwing up 20-pound weights.
So you
What a
can't.
lunk.
Yeah, lunk.
Yeah, that's what they have, a lunk alarm.
A lunk alarm.
Yeah. If you
Wow,
hawk out
this
too
is,
much, they will set off an alarm.
J. Armstrong talked about that last night. So,
Oh, really?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
guess it happened to him.
That's
So,
hilarious.
yeah.
Those are life goals for me.
See, I
Just one time
I
I
never,
only
I
set
never
off the
knew
lunk
Planet
alarm.
Fitness. You were
My
allowed to
favorite thing
grunt
about
or-
Planet Fitness is when I signed up, they asked me maybe 2 questions about my health. Now, clearly looking at me, I am not the epitome of health, okay? I mean, I'm overweight. Yeah, I came in smelling like cigarettes. So they asked me a couple questions about my health, but I had to do a page questionnaire on the tanning bed. So I'm like, hey, I could die and have a heart attack on that treadmill, but let me burn myself up in the tanning bed. Where they're more worried about me getting a sunburn than they were me having a heart attack and dying in their gym. So that tells you about Planet Fitness right there. No
Awesome.
judgment, though. No judgment.
No, none at
And
all.
pizza night. Don't they have
Pizza,
pizza
yeah.
night?
Mondays are pizza night,
Yeah,
and
they
then
have
Tuesdays
pizza.
are bagel days. So
Yeah.
you talk about guerrilla marketing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They where it's at.
When's Gorilla Day?
every Monday and Tuesday.
But
I
you
don't
can't
know.
grunt.
Yeah,
Gorilla
don't
Day,
grunt.
I would think that would be the one day that you could grunt and hawk out on Gorilla Day.
No, not allowed. They will judge you.
I just want to go in there and curl 20-pound dumbbells and scream at the top of my lungs, just so the alarm goes off, and then they go, "Really,
You
dude?
don't stand. You
Those
don't.
are 20
Oh,
pounds."
you do take selfies. I've seen them. You are one of those
Hey,
gym
let's
selfie
not
guys.
go
Gym
there.
selfie.
I haven't done that in 3 months.
You are a gym selfie.
I had a moment.
guy.
I had a moment. I was
Did
proud
you
of my
complain in
gains.
January because people like me were in there hogging up the equipment?
Okay,
yeah.
so I did,
Okay, yeah,
and then I got sick, and I haven't been in the gym in 3 months.
yeah, yeah.
So yeah, don't quit smoking. Apparently, if you quit smoking, you get even more sick.
Oh yeah, you have to
Oh,
keep
yeah,
the toxins
absolutely.
going.
Yeah,
Jeez,
that'll get you.
I had no
yeah.
idea.
Barrier. Yeah.
There's a lot of sickness that goes along with quitting.
3 months, no cigarette, and I've had the flu 3 times. The flu, like
That'll do it.
the Ebola virus. Like, Lori, seriously,
Well,
I'm a dude. I was dying.
Because you let the toxins from the nicotine out, and that allowed other toxins to come in. Your body wasn't used to it.
Right.
Your body knew the nicotine and knew how to deal with it.
Yeah,
My own
you ever
toxic
seen
personality.
you ever seen that Simpsons episode where they found out that Mr. Burns was so sick he couldn't die because everything was attacking everything at once? He was in, he was in equilibrium. Yeah. That's what the cigarettes were for you. It kept the flu at bay because you couldn't get any sicker than you already were.
Well, I'm going to have to panhandle $6 when I get out of here. And look how I'm dressed. Somebody will give me $6.
Maybe
just
you
to
could sell
go
some
away.
pre-workout in the parking lot and
There you go.
put it in a baggie. These
This
kids
is
don't
way
know.
better
Yep.
intravenously
They don't
than
know.
it
Yep,
is.
I might buy some actually because I have to go to work at 3:00 and be there till
What are the
midnight,
kids
so
doing
I might
now?
need
Molly?
you.
Just tell them it's Molly.
Yeah.
Like, hey, I got some Molly here.
Hey, I'm going to try something because Scotty's so disappointed he didn't get to hear Potter's Field.
Okay.
So I'm going to try something. People get on this computer and they just start messing with stuff. So let's see if we can officially take a little breather here.
Okay.
This means
And
Don has to pee.
Yeah, this is exactly what it means, Scotty. And it's really terrible when you can't, and you just have to keep broadcasting.
Well, that might be a prostate issue.
I'll have to get that checked out. You good?
Well, we're
I'm going to
live.
pass. I'm going to pass the
Well,
prostate. I'm going to pass.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, I brought
Don't let my low
gloves.
voice fool you.
I brought gloves, so we're good.
Will they fit my hand?
All right. We'll make it fit.
Okay.
The gloves are me. All right. We will.
This took a turn.
This always takes a turn. We will be back here shortly. Maybe very shortly if this doesn't work. But I'm just going to experiment here. Let's see what we got.
Hold on, wait a minute. Wait 1 second. I think I'm onto something here. This is pure snow. It's everywhere. Have you any idea what the street value of this mountain is? Charles. Wait a minute. Hold it. Ah! Oh! Outrageous. I think I froze the left half of my brain. Look! I can't move my right arm!
All right, we are back on. See, that's what I was going to start out with. That's the sound clip I was going to play to start out with because of the snow.
What movie was that from?
That was from one of my favorite 80s movies called Better Off Dead.
Yes.
Yes, the character was
Okay.
Charles DeMar, which was one of my
Is that
favorite
Booger
parts.
from Revenge
That
of
is
the Nerds?
Booger. That is
Booger!
Curtis Armstrong, Booger from Revenge of the Nerds. Good call.
Thank you.
Yes, that's one of my favorite movies from
They
the 80s.
do it on the moon. Oh,
Huh?
wait, Revenge of the Nerds or
Better Off Dead.
Better Off
They're
Dead?
dead.
Yeah.
So many boobs in Revenge of the Nerds.
There are.
I love that
but
movie. And the
not-
whole Porky
yeah.
series. What?
Oh yeah, fantastic. Gotta love 80s boob movies.
Mhm.
There were no boobs in Better Off Dead, but it was
No.
still a great movie.
A boom box.
Right. Was there?
Was there?
Probably, I don't know.
No. I don't
They
know.
were
I
all
can't
over the
remember.
place in the 80s. They made their way
Ghetto
into
Blaster.
every movie.
That was
yeah.
Say Anything.
Thank you.
Yeah, there you go. There
Yep.
you go.
That was it.
That was with,
Yep.
also with John Cusack.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
Yeah,
Whatever happened to him?
yeah. I don't know. I think after Con Air, he just gave up.
He does like these suspense type movies now too. Like
He might move into directing, like those
It
kind of
could have been.
people.
I don't know. I haven't heard anything from him in a while.
John is
someone
actually
Google
Joan.
John and tell us about it.
Yep.
He's actually Joan, isn't he?
Yep. That's what it is. He
His alter ego.
Somebody just said I'm showing my age.
Whose age? You're showing your age?
We're showing all of our age.
I'm
Oh,
not.
Talking about 80s movies references.
I'm not. I have Netflix.
That's okay. What's that?
I'm
Oh,
young.
you-
I have Netflix.
Yeah,
I know
yeah,
what's
there you
going
go.
on.
Yeah.
I have Netflix
All
too.
25
They don't
years
have.
of you.
They don't have any of the good movies I watched when I was a kid.
day, we had to crank our TVs to get a picture.
Our TV was caught a window. We looked outside, and saw what was going on. Wanted to check the news? Open the curtain.
Our TV was binoculars looking into Susie's bedroom.
That was our porn channel. Anyway. Hey, we're back on the Life Radio
And I
show, in
still
case
use
you couldn't
binoculars.
tell. This is how Susie do it.
It's creepy.
It is, right?
Yep, you have to look a little lower with the binoculars.
Oh, my face is still so hot. Not hot like you.
Ready to take
like
your blood
hot,
pressure? I mean, are you
like
gonna-
Scotty's so
I
hot.
feel like my heart is just
So,
pounding on my chest.
you were talking briefly about Mike Shea's short film he's filming.
Yes.
Was that your first? Was that your acting debut? I mean, as far as being recorded.
Okay, yeah, all right.
I don't
yeah,
mean like no, I didn't do it, officer. I mean, was that?
Yeah, it was actually first dramatic type thing. I mean, I've done little snippets of things, but
we've all done our snippets.
Yeah.
Every now and then we all have to do some snippets, Scotty.
Yeah.
So many things I could say. So many things I could say.
People are going to stop me and be like, dude, you got any of those snippets?
What website is that on?
Yeah, where'd you get your snippets? My snippet dealer ran out on me. Wow. Okay, should we hit some news stories just to see where we need to go from here?
I mean, we still have an hour and 15 minutes to, but yeah.
Yeah, I know, but that way we take
Let's
a break.
news,
We
Dawn.
take a break at the top of the hour,
like,
and then we
for
recollect
Pete's
ourselves.
sake.
And basically, the next hour, we're just going to start over. We're going to
Oh, I
pretend
like
this
that.
last
I
hour
like that.
did not happen at all.
We should do the
And-
same show over the next hour.
Well, actually, the next hour, I'm actually going to be able to play the intro. So,
Oh, nice.
so
Hey,
there's
fun.
that. Yeah, we can actually start the show. This has all just been building up to it. We're going to have a great show this next hour. All this crap, this is just preparation.
There we go. We're warming
So,
up.
yeah.
Warming up.
Gotcha,
Yeah. Is your
gotcha.
news local to Dayton?
My
No.
news is all over the place.
It's all over the place. Did you hear
Yeah.
about the lady in Chillicothe that ran over her half-dead rabbit and hit a utility pole? That was in our paper.
That
She
sounds like
ran
a
over
hairy
her
situation.
half-dead
Okay, I
rabbit.
guess
Was
from
it
what I
half
remember
dead
from the
beforehand?
articles, she came home. Her ex-boyfriend apparently had done something to her pet rabbit. It was out in the street, half dead. She didn't want it to suffer, so her choice to handle it was she ran over it with her car to kill it all the way, and then hit a pole in front of her house. So
Awesome.
yeah, so there's your Chillicothe news for the day.
The tip-off
that's-
point, she came home, walked in, looked at the keychain, and noticed a rabbit's foot hanging
Yes,
from...
yes.
That was
Yeah.
probably the next day.
Said, where's the rest of it? And they said,
Yeah.
it's out in the street.
Out in the street.
Didn't
You should
know
go
what to
run
do
over
with
She
it.
wanted to put it out of
Go
its
run
misery,
over
so she ran over with her car.
What
and hit
a
a pole.
horrible way to die, the anticipation of seeing a car tire come... Do you think they're aware
Well,
of
what
that
a
is?
horrible way to wreck your car, because not only are you distraught over the loss
Yeah,
of your
I'm
rabbit,
worried about the
that
rabbit.
you had to finish off,
Yeah.
and your car is smashed up too.
Was
So
she
that's-
driving a Volkswagen Rabbit?
She ran
But
over
not
a
Bob.
rabbit, run
Yeah.
over a
Yeah.
rabbit.
Okay. Let's go to your news, Don. Let's just
Yeah,
go.
let's
Definitely
Let's go.
showing
Let's
my
go.
age.
Although that was fantastic. That was
Yeah,
really
yeah, there you go.
that was probably better than the news I have, just because there are a lot of facets to that. I want to know what her boyfriend did to the rabbit to screw it
You
up.
can
too.
find the full article on my Twitter. I retweeted from the Chillicothe Gazette. So if you want to click on that and get more into that story, ladies and gentlemen.
I want to.
Yes.
I'm going to have to go to. Okay, I'm going to put check Lori's Twitter.
Yeah.
I don't Twitter myself. I don't.
you don't tweet? The kids are on Twitter, dude.
I know,
How you
everybody's
reaching the
doing
kids?
it, right?
I know. How you reaching the
Oh,
kids?
I left the W.
The
out.
old people are on Facebook. The kids are on Twitter and Instagram. Come on, man.
I
Keep
just
up.
hang out at schoolyards, and they're like, "Oh yeah, I know that guy."
Sell pre-workout. Okay.
Yeah, and take gym selfies.
Yep, and beg for $6 cigarettes
$6 cigarettes.
in the jailhouse at work. All right, Sister Kate is a rebel without a cause. I don't remember most of these news stories because I kind of recycle, and some of them I haven't gotten to for 3 weeks. Sister Kate is a rebel with a cause. The 59-year-old self-described nun, which I don't know why you would self-describe, and it's in quotation marks, so the self-described quote-unquote nun.
She doesn't get sex.
I guess.
She's
yeah.
very quiet about it.
She embraced a life of activism and service to the planet following a difficult divorce and traumatic career change in 2009. Sister Kate, whose former name is Catherine Meusen, left the corporate consulting firm she founded and moved to California to enter the emerging marijuana industry as an owner of a nonprofit collective delivering cannabis to the seriously ill. She said the business came out of necessity following her divorce. Then the business became a calling. In 2011, Sister Kate was emerging as an activist outside of the progressive cannabis industry. That year, she began referring to herself as a nun in protest of new nutrition standards from the U.S. Department of Agriculture that allowed pizza sauce to be considered a vegetable. Which you would think, if you're that big into the cannabis industry, you would consider pizza sauce.
That's how I justify eating pizza.
Exactly, because it's
protein,
getting your
it's
vegetables.
vegetables.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I mean, it's made out of tomatoes.
Right.
That's still a vegetable, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or is that
At
one of
one
those
time,
that's-
yes.
It's a fruit.
As
Is that a
well,
weird one? Yeah.
it's. I would say it's a tomato in the same way McDonald's French fries are potatoes.
Okay, then.
There's a base. There's a base
there's
there.
a base. Yeah. Sometimes
But I will say that a slice of pizza does look more like the food pyramid. So
it does.
There's that.
It does. And who doesn't like pizza? Especially
Exactly.
people who smoke pot.
Yeah, and who doesn't like a nun that sells pot?
Right. Well, she's a self-described nun. So I don't know. Still don't know what that means.
She's not getting sex.
Yeah,
exactly what that means. That's an
that's
excuse
the,
for I can't get laid, so I'm going to call myself a nun.
Yeah.
She's too busy smoking weed and eating pizza.
I'm a nun.
Yeah. Yep, till she found out that pizza sauce was considered a vegetable by the U.S. Department of Agriculture, and then she probably, in protest, doesn't eat pizza either till she gets stoned.
I feel bad for her.
Yeah.
She doesn't get sex and doesn't eat pizza. What kind of a life is that?
That's a horrible life.
If you're not going to get sex, you might as well eat nothing but pizza. Cause
yeah.
That's
what I do.
All right. Maybe next. This one's dumb. This one I actually talked about a little bit last week.
Wait, you're saying that one's dumb? We're reading the news.
Yeah.
All the news is going to be.
That's true. Well, we might circle back to this one.
Okay.
It has to do with the wedding, and I just don't.
Oh yeah.
Gotcha.
That's a curse.
Well, this one we touched on last week, but I still feel there's more to this story. A new Oregon travel video seems to suggest that the visit to the Beaver State, which you got to love that, is more like a psychedelic acid trip. The anime-style video shows children riding giant rabbits, frogs reading newspapers, and caterpillars bicycling through the forests. And the clouds all look like humpback whales. The video is part of a $5 million campaign to boost state tourism, according to the Travel Oregon director, whatever that name is, Leanna Gagliano.
Oh, nice.
Which is a good, yeah.
Nice. That rolled off your tongue very nice.
Well, yeah, I was thinking it was going to make me Gagliano. Anyway, she says, we felt like the only way to convey the incredible feeling of being in Oregon is through animation. It creates much more of that wonder you feel when you travel someplace new. The video, titled Only Slightly Exaggerated, suggests that fantastic sights like these are commonplace.
When you eat acid.
Yes, apparently that's...
In my 20s, I used to get chocolates laced with mushrooms from Oregon. So maybe that's what they were doing.
Really?
Is that what they're talking about?
They were from Oregon? Is that
they came from Oregon, yeah.
Not just somebody in the Oregon district.
No, no. Yeah. I knew a guy who would get them from a buddy in Oregon. They were little chocolates. They were laced with mushrooms, and they were a good time.
His name was John Morris.
Right. We still got him.
He might have been born when I was in my 20s. I don't think he was around then.
You know, that's the thing that I have to look at when I'm doing comedy with some of these awesome comics. I'm like, I'm old enough to be your dad.
Yeah, I know. It's scary, isn't it?
So weird.
It is.
And then you want to
and
DNA
I might be.
test it. Yeah.
I might be.
You never know. You never know. John, yeah, I could see that. Because you're about the same age as me, Scotty. So yeah,
we're rocking it.
We're all fantastic. We're all just
well, I didn't hang out and date in my 20s, so I know I have no children up here. I know that right now.
The enthusiastic look on your face when you said we're fantastic. It was like, oh, you need to sell that a little bit better.
I think I'm just going to go to Oregon, drop some ass and play around with some bicycling caterpillars.
So they put $5 million into
$5 million into an animation
acidy trip video
for the Yellow Submarine version of Oregon
with children riding giant rabbits.
Why weren't they riding giant beavers?
Exactly,
right.
It's the Beaver State,
I think
which
they
I
totally
never
missed
knew.
That selling point.
Exactly, they should be.
It.
I guess the flat tail, they were just afraid they'd smack each other around, smack the kids with them.
My buddy
because that's looks too much like a paddle.
We're gonna have to find this video.
And they're against the.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we should. We probably shouldn't do it on the air. We'll circle back to the other one since we only have a few minutes before we go to break. Maybe next time she'll say "I do" to driving sober. An Arizona woman involved in a 3-car wreck was charged Monday with driving under the influence on the way to her wedding. Wearing her wedding dress as well, a handcuffed Amber Young, 32 years old, was ushered by an officer into a Marana Police Department squad car. Sergeant Chriswell Scott wrote in a now deleted tweet, "Don't drive impaired till death do we part, doesn't need any help." That's why it was deleted, because it was annoying. Police said officers arrived at the crash scene at about 10:30 a.m. with, quote, one person transported with minor injuries. Young was booked, her blood sample extracted, and she signed a criminal citation to appear in court later. She was released to her fiancé, who probably said, no.
I was like, did they get married?
Yeah,
It says they got married or not?
Did they?
Well, she was released to her fiancé, so I don't know. It did not say if the wedding continued. I would assume that what else was there to do at that point?
Well, it says a lot for him if she's getting drunk to marry him.
Right.
Yeah.
This is how we met, and this is how we're getting married.
Yeah,
And
this
this is how we'll stay for the rest of our lives. Drunk.
Yeah. Till death do us part. So yeah,
In the form of liver
sometimes that's what it
failure.
takes. Yes, exactly,
Right.
exactly. So yeah, I think that's enough news.
Dude, I almost
For
had
the
a
time
moment there when
being.
I chuckled. There was the onset of a snot bubble that almost came out of my nose. That would have
Why
been.
did you stop it?
That's
Man.
a wasted visual, dude, on the
exactly.
radio.
Right.
Yeah, we could have at least enjoyed that.
Yeah.
Even if listeners can't see it,
I don't
they
know
might
where
have
it
been
came
able to
from.
hear it pop. I'd have turned your mic way up.
I don't know
That
where
was
it came
Scotty's
from.
snot bubble popping.
Yeah.
Right there.
It just crept up on me, all ninja-like.
Well, those creepy snot bubbles. Those are
Yeah,
the worst.
out of
Those are the
nowhere.
absolute-
You're like, oh my
the
God.
absolute worst.
Greg Chipman said no one wants a big beaver.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, they're talking about the Oregon shit. Yeah, nobody wants a giant beaver.
Him and I went to
But-
school together.
Oh, okay.
That's what we do. We discriminate against big beavers. Although at my age, I
Is that
really
like
don't
big
discriminate too
tobacco?
much anymore.
Is that like
Right,
big
yeah.
tobacco? We don't want to.
Oh, big
Yeah,
beavers.
I don't want to be involved with Big Beaver. That's like the main conglomerate porn industry is Big
Yeah,
Beaver.
Big Beaver Industries. Big Beaver Production.
Her name was Gagliano, so I wanted to say nothing, but I couldn't. That guy was waiting.
Yeah.
That was my 16-year-old guy humor coming out.
Yeah,
Sorry.
I
loved it.
Sorry.
I loved it.
Sorry.
On that note, I think we're going to go ahead and take a break.
Because now I have to
Because
pee
now,
in this
yeah,
rotation of.
Scotty's got to hit the restroom and take care of that snot bubble, and because we can't have this. So hopefully we will come back to a better
we're
show.
coming
It won't
back.
be mine, but we will come back to a better show. I'm going to invite somebody else in to host, and I'm just going to sit in the
Why
corner.
don't we just trade seats?
I'm just going to sit in the corner
Show me
and
what
probably
buttons not
sob
to push.
uncontrollably. It doesn't matter, Scotty,
Okay,
because as
all
you
right.
can see, doesn't matter what button you push. I can't get half this crap to work anyway.
I'm going to go snort some pre-workout.
Yeah, let's go. Let's
Don't
go
get some more pre-workout
pre-workout.
in you, Scotty. We'll
And
wait.
hopefully we'll come back to a better show sometime in the future. All right, we'll see you in a minute. You're listening to WWSU 106.9 FM, Fairborn, Dayton's right choice. Thanks for tuning in to the Life Radio Show, now a proud member of the Eventide Entertainment Podcast Network. I'm your host, Don Smith. The Life is rapidly approaching its third year on the air, and I haven't been asked not to come back yet. I must be doing something wrong. Before we get started, I have to tell you that the views and opinions expressed on this show do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of WWSU, Wright State University, or the Wright State student body. Come to think of it, the views and opinions on this show don't reflect the views and opinions of most people in a civilized society. Fortunately, that's what makes it fun and worth listening to, so stick around and enjoy.
The brutal presence.
They say, see a broad to get that booty yak 'em, leg her down and smack 'em, yak 'em. Oh, got to be. You know? Shit.
All right, we're back on the Life Radio Show. Actually, no, we're starting over. Welcome.
Fresh
It is
start.
Wednesday. It is
Wednesday.
it is
Thanks
Wednesday.
for having
It
us,
is
Don.
1 o'clock. This is the Life Radio Show just starting out.
It's hump
That
day.
last hour, I don't know what crap you guys were listening to, but it couldn't
That
have been
was
this show
garbage.
because that
Those were
guy in
imposters.
before, the people in before us were terrible.
They were
They were.
horrible.
Yeah, they were.
As Charles
they were
Barkley would say,
raunchy. They
terrible.
were just that guy with the mohawk. Oh,
Yeah, what a freak. What a freak. Is he homeless?
There was some sweaty guy with a mohawk all hopped up
Yeah.
on pre-workout.
hey,
and,
well, the homeless can't afford neck tattoos.
You mean this everlasting job stopper? Right.
Anyway,
hurt?
we're back on the Life Radio
No,
Show.
actually, my back piece hurt more than my neck did.
Your back piece. You got a tramp stamp.
It's a giant Joker face.
Oh, okay.
It says ha 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 on it. Yeah, I am the mad Joker. At least
I
one of
didn't
my
know that.
personalities.
Oh, okay. Is that why you started doing comedy?
No, I started
was that
doing
the
comedy
mad part?
because I stopped doing drugs. And I was like,
okay.
well, what am I going to do now?
What are you gonna do now?
Yeah, what are the alternatives? I guess I'll do comedy.
I guess I'll just humiliate myself on stage.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, why not?
It's what we all do.
Yeah.
We do.
Yeah. When's the last time you bombed on stage?
Oh, last night. Yeah. Well, I hosted my own show. I had nothing to say. It would have been a long day. So
I know
the
feeling.
I just got up there and rambled for like 5 minutes. I'm like, you guys don't want to hear me here. Let me bring your first comic. I just went off. So yeah, bombed. I had a pretty rough show about a month ago. My all-time bomb ever. You want to hear that one?
Yes.
That was compliments to Jonathan Craig, and I still talk about this to this day. Jonathan used to book a show called at Julia's. I don't know even if it's still there. I don't know where it is. It's up here somewhere.
Julia's nightclub?
I don't know. It's kind of like a little strip mallish kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah, it used to be Shooters. Remember Shooters?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
No,
But I'd only been doing comedy for like 3 or 4 years, and Jonathan said, hey, he's like, I want you to feature for Kenny Smith. And I'm like, oh, my big chance. And like Adrian Cosby was there, and Sean Lynch was there.
Wow.
All these guys were there, and it was supposed to be a book show, but Julia's advertised it as an open mic.
Awesome.
So all these people came to do open mic. So we had to sit through open mic. Then the show started. Well, by the time I got up there, the people that were left, well, first of all, some lady would not get off the microphone. I think they had to cut her mic. She was drunk and just kept talking, and she just wouldn't shut up. So by the time I got up there, there was about, other than the comics, there were maybe 8 people still there. There were 4 or 5 women like right in front. 2 of them were passed out drunk, sitting in their chair with their chin on their chest.
Sweet.
The only person that was paying attention to me was a Cuban guy that I kept referring to as Elion in the back of the room. And I just, in comedy world, we say that I'm going to make it radio clean. I ate all the penises that night. I ate all of them. I ate every penis that ever was on stage. And after the show, I went out to my car. Sean Lynch went out with me. I was like teary. And I was like, they're so horrible. And they're like trying to talk me down. And I drove 45 minutes out of my way to Carla Goldbush's house to sit on her couch and cry and say, I'm never doing comedy again. I'm quitting. This is awful. And I still, to this day, every time that pops on my time hop, I will text Jonathan. And one of the last times I sent that to him, he sent back ... said every comic that ever did Julia's. Because it was like the worst night of my life. But yeah, that was, if I ever have a night like that again, I mean, now I know how to deal with it. Mm-hmm. But then I'd always performed it for my friends, so I'd never bombed. And I didn't know how to mentally deal with no one laughing at me. So I was traumatized. I mean, it took me, I really thought I'm quitting. I'm not doing this again. This is horrible. And Carla's like, it'll be okay. And then, they talked me off that quitting ledge, but yeah.
One of my worst shows, one of my biggest bombs I ever had on stage, you were actually headlining. I don't know what happened. I think I just didn't prepare enough. And I could remember all the setups. I could remember all the premises. Couldn't remember a single joke. Yeah. And I
where was it?
It was something Keith Irvin set up. It was a benefit. For a friend of his.
Was it when we were outside?
It was the outside venue.
I remember that.
Yes,
yeah, but I don't remember you bombing.
I did terrible. I forgot my whole set, basically.
Darlene. His friend Darlene. Darlene.
And I think I was about 6 minutes in. I was supposed to do about 15 minutes. About 6 minutes in, Keith's inside who was hosting. I just start yelling for him to get back out there. It's like, I'm done, dude.
Outside shows are always so hard, though, because you can't hear the laughter. And in the summer, it's hot, and people were drinking. And I remember there were motorcycles rolling up, and there were kids running around, and they were selling 50/50s. And then you're up there in the middle of all of that. Hey, listen to me tell jokes. I don't remember you bombing, though.
Well, good.
I remember that show, though.
I did fine then. I did.
You didn't bomb, Don.
I didn't bomb.
You didn't bomb. You didn't bomb. If I didn't text about it, it didn't happen.
Okay, awesome. It wasn't tweeted. My bombing wasn't tweeted, so it wasn't that bad. As long as I don't make it into the Twitter sphere, I'm all right.
There you go.
But no, that was one of my worst ones.
But I always come off. I always come off stage thinking I sucked. I mean, I get like tons of like laughter and applause. You still come off like, oh, I messed up this, and I don't know. I think we're our own worst critics.
Yeah, you were thinking about that one line you forgot to put in, that new tag you were going to try out, you forgot to put in, and
well, that's kind of because I asked that because I've been in my head a lot lately, and I'm like, I'm not funny. I don't deserve to be like doing what I'm doing right now, and I have to like be careful when I do that because I'll speak it into existence.
Yeah, don't do that. Yeah. I always just and you can always do just tonight I didn't click with the crowd tonight. It wasn't. So especially if you're telling the same jokes, your polished sets and your different venues, and just because it'll work out places, but if it doesn't happen to work out one night, really who's, is it your fault if it's worked out 25 times before that and then that night didn't work out? Maybe you just didn't click with the crowd that night, or,
it doesn't take much.
Blame the moon cycles. I blame the moon.
Oh,
blame the moon
there
cycles. Like,
thanks, Obama.
Yeah.
It was the moon. Yeah, the moon wasn't. The stars weren't aligned that night, but. Yeah, because you always have that. You always have that one joke kills everywhere. And then there's that one time when it doesn't kill.
Yep.
And if it's early in your set, that will throw me off.
Oh, yeah.
Because in my mind, I'm like, everybody laugh. Why did they laugh at that? Everybody laughs at that. Why did you laugh at that? And then, so I'm going on to my next joke, but in my mind, I'm still thinking, why did you laugh at that? And you want to ask him, why did you laugh at that? Everybody laughs at that.
What is wrong with you people?
What is wrong with you? So... I don't know, but I think everybody's like that. I mean, every comic's like that. You just don't. It's hard to not get in your head about anything, though. I mean, you always want to do well.
I think that's part of the reason I hadn't been on stage in 6 months. Is every time I was ready to go back up, I thought, I'm no good at this.
Talk yourself out of it.
It's like, nah, I'm not going to do it. But finally, I had a show that I was hosting that I booked, so I kind of had to. So it's like, I better do something. But I'm glad I did. I'm glad I got back up. But I don't want to do it anymore. No.
Well, thanks for that. I was just curious. I wanted to kind of pick your brain on that because
every night, in my head, I bomb every night. So I mean, I think it's just a thing because you want to do well. And, I don't know, but and if you got my mom with you, she'll tell you what jokes didn't go well.
I might need her in my life.
She will tell me I wouldn't do that again. Momager, Lori, I don't know why you told that joke. I told a joke one time about I wanted to kill all deer because I'd hit 3 in 6 weeks in my car. And I said I was going to dip ears of corn in antifreeze and put them throughout my property, and then when the spring thaw happened, I could just see carcasses.
That's a very thought out plan.
I'm dark sometimes, but I said that. I thought it was funny, but nobody laughed. And Mom on the way home, people don't like to talk about you killing animals, Lori. Don't do that again. Nobody liked that. I'm like, all right, so
especially at a PETA fundraiser.
Yeah.
Did you try? Did you try it again though?
The Humane Society. No, I didn't.
Oh,
Usually, Mom's pretty dead on. I mean, believe it or not, Cher's pretty dead on with stuff. I heard Doug Morgan asked her one time how she thought his set went, and she said, "You started out great. It kind of fell flat in the middle, but your ending was good." And I just looked at her, looked at Doug, and I'm like, "Don't ever ask her that because she'll tell you. Don't. She has no filter."
That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
See, my mom, I love my mom to pieces, but everything, you did great. You just did great.
Oh, not Cher.
No, I didn't,
Cher will cut
Mom.
you down. She's, it's tough love in my life. No.
Because she that said I bombed, that I bombed didn't bomb at that outdoor place. She was riding home with me trying to tell me how good I did. It's like, no, I didn't, Mom. I was there.
Yeah.
I bombed.
That good and bad is my mom will be brutally honest with you about your set. She will tell you.
That always works for me.
And if she's playing solitaire on her phone while you're on stage, then you're really
then you're really bombed.
That's how you always tell. I've had to break her of that. I'm like, Mom, you sit up front. Get off your phone. I mean, I've been to shows and she's up there hitting the solitaire. I'm like, he's not funny. I'm like, get off your phone. Pretend you're my mom. So.
Well, last Sunday, my first time in 6 months on stage, I knew I did pretty well because I came off stage and Ed John was extremly disappointed.
Oh, that's
the first thing. That's
is
the first thing he said.
Right.
He said, "Man, I was so hoping you were going to bomb." Like, I'm sorry, Ed. Maybe next time.
Oh, I didn't know he liked to bomb.
Huh?
He likes it when we bomb.
I think just me.
Oh, okay.
I think
okay.
A lot of comics like it when we bomb. Actually,
I think,
it makes them feel better about themselves.
Yeah. Well,
lot of
it
times
feel
if you're
better.
doing
It makes
really
you feel
bad.
better about yourself, but isn't it funny? I mean, it is kind of funny.
It
Especially
is.
when, I mean, I don't know. I don't want somebody to bomb, but sometimes it's,
I always love.
Especially if everybody's
karma
having a
train
rough
needs
night.
to come
If
around
everyone's
sometimes.
having a rough night, then you
Yeah.
kind of have to get together and be like, it'll be good. We'll laugh at you like we laughed at him, and you guys can laugh at me, and some rooms are just like
I
that.
always love like the Sunday comics at Wiley's when somebody gets up there and it's just doing really terrible. You always hear like Travis Charles just cackling in the back, just loving it.
Yeah.
So, there are some folks that just, which
Well, he
depends-
wants
it depends
everybody
on
to
the
quit
person. There
comedy.
are some- well, yeah.
he
More
will.
room-
He will
more
tell
room
you
for
to
him,
quit.
yeah.
So, yeah, that's always fun.
Yeah. Yeah, I love bombing.
Oh, me too. I
That's-
love eating all the penises myself.
All the penises, yeah. Ate all the penises.
Well,
All the
that's why one of the things that's why I was so sad when Chapter stopped doing them.
Yeah, they stopped selling bags
Really,
of penises.
have you ever done Chapter?
I did that for Dale. Yes,
Yes.
I did that show with him. Yeah,
I headlined a show to 2 people.
Did
yeah. I think I did 2. I think I did 5. I think I
hey,
did 5
just
there.
look at it this way: at the Chapter, it's only 2 people telling you suck.
Yeah, one guy was in a wheelchair and 2 drunk ladies. So it was like,
I always
Oh,
like the
great.
story about the guy that walked into the Chapter while they're doing the comedy and just sat at the bar crying and reading a Bible.
Oh wow!
I forget who told that story, but that was like that said that was their first experience at the Chapter was somebody sitting there.
That
like,
stuff never happens when I'm there. Never.
No, Chapter. I
like
think
that
I
little
think I did the
place.
Chapter like 4 or 5
Yeah.
times.
so
It
there's
was-
there's slowly a new venue
I
that
never
has taken
did
its
well
place
there.
The Hookah.
the hook. Yeah, well,
Great place, but if you want to build some comedy chest hair,
Oh, yeah.
that is
Yeah,
the best
yeah,
place to
Is
go.
that well? Where's Hookah?
Off of Patterson.
958 Patterson Road.
Okay, all
On
right.
that was on
Impeccable
Thursday
memories,
nights.
sir.
Thursday nights.
Is it a bar?
Well, I
It's
say it
a
every
hookah
week.
bar.
Oh, so they go there and puff on those things.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
They sell coffee and stuff. And
Teas,
I say
not
that
really coffee.
address every week, Scotty, because it's always,
Oh, okay. Yeah, very nice. Very nice.
that's why I remember.
I like
it.
Gary Henry's mic. He's doing.
Oh,
Is
the
that
sugar
the
melons.
sugar melons?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I
I
haven't been
closed
to
that out, and I outed a couple that were sleeping together and didn't know it.
They didn't know it, or
They knew it, but their friends didn't. And I guess they're regulars
Oh,
at the
wow.
place. And I asked one of my questions, and I was like, "Are you guys?" And she put her head down, and he kind of went like this. So I'm like, "You are."
Body language.
And
But
their
nobody
friends
knows.
didn't know. They do now.
Yeah, that's
So I felt kind of bad. And Raymond Jackson's new mic. I did
yeah,
that last
Hannah's.
week.
that's Hannah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That
on
little
Ludlow.
place
I like the
cool.
setup there.
That bar is like hammered
Yep.
brass. That place
Yep.
is nice.
I haven't been in there.
There's a
I've
lot
thought-
of good
I've thought
mics
about
out
going
right
in there
now.
for lunch because I meet my wife down.
Yeah.
I meet my lunch downtown. I meet my wife downtown for lunch, and she actually works in the Talbot Tower.
Oh, okay.
Right there at Hannah's.
It's a great little place. I didn't eat, but I saw him cooking stuff, and it smelled really good. So, yeah, I recommend that to you, Don.
We're going to
Recommend
have
that
to try
you.
that.
A lot of good open mics around.
Have
right
you been
now.
on Washington's new mic yet? He was talking to me about
The
it.
Comedy Fight
Comedy
Club?
Fight
Yes.
Club? Yeah.
I
So
wanna
let me
see
tell
that.
you, that was so much fun. And the way that is ran, it's just awesome. It's probably the most fun open mic I've
Raymond
ever
Jackson
done.
said the exact same words. He said that was. He said it was really.
It was
Everybody that did that show or
it was
went
incredible.
to that show.
I mean,
said it
there's
was
an element of
fantastic,
humiliation involved, but if you can
Oh,
laugh
yeah.
at yourself,
Oh, sure, yeah.
Because I mean, if you're going to
Yeah.
do this, you have to be able to laugh at yourself.
Oh yeah,
And,
absolutely.
Like kudos, Nate Washington, my dude. Nice job, man.
Nate,
Hey,
so-
Michelle
wait.
McAllister's watching right now. Michelle meets Scotty. He is works in recovery stuff up here, so I need to hook you guys up.
Yes,
yeah, there you go.
that's right.
You can
We're
come to a
making all
coffee
kinds of
and
connections.
do one of your town halls or something. So there we go. See,
Yeah,
networking.
Yeah,
I mean, this
that's
guy
what it's all
has
about.
shook hands with Rob Portman. Like seriously, like you wouldn't think, but yeah. Like
Are you bragging about
I've
that?
went.
Oh,
in
I'm
front
sorry.
of Congress. I am
My
bragging.
bad.
I'm going to boast a little
Yeah.
bit.
Bad.
Actually, in
It's a
front of
humble brag,
Congress
yeah.
at the Columbus State House. Yeah, I've been. I've
So
been
not
all
the real
in.
Congress, just state Congress.
Yeah. Well,
Okay,
yeah.
okay, yeah.
Way
They
to
don't
take-
count.
Way to take him down a notch,
Thanks.
Don. He's like,
Impressive, Scotty.
And here's your
States.
humble pie.
I could go to
Congress.
Columbus too.
no. Nah.
As a matter of fact, I think anybody can go sit in that room.
Oh, sorry, couldn't help it.
It's all good. It's all good.
What were you saying about laughing at yourself?
Yeah, but that open mic, the way
Yeah,
that's set
I
up,
do
it's
wanna-
perfect.
I do want to. I do
It's
want
a
to
cool
take a
little bar,
Wednesday off
too.
and do that one.
Cool
because
little
that
bar.
Yeah,
would
you guys
be-
have. There's a lot of cool. When I first started doing comedy, there was a bunch of stuff in Dayton going on, and then it kind of went to not a lot. But now it's back up again, so I think it's cool.
Yeah, because last year there was like a lull.
Yeah, there
Yeah.
was.
And then this
so-
year, all of a sudden, they've just exploded. Roamers,
Yeah.
Ollies.
Ollies, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's
Every
good.
night of the week almost, up until the weekends when you actually have like the showcases and
Right.
stuff like that going on.
Yeah,
And the club shows.
good for you, Dayton. Good for
Yeah, doing good things, man.
We can do
It's
this.
just we
Dave.
need
Let's be
more
number
unity.
one in something else.
We need more unity.
Sure.
And
Yeah.
especially
You guys need another one.
I'm good. I'm good.
Good.
I'm good. You wet your whistle over there, buddy.
I will.
See, in Chillicothe, we have like 5 comics, so we're about as unified as you can get.
But you have very funny comics.
But still, there's got to be that one.
No, really, no, we don't. We don't. Well, that's Carlin. He lives in Vinton County.
Carlin. I thought you said comics. No. I'm kidding. Carlin's awesome.
Carlin is awesome. Don't tell anybody I said that.
I didn't hear anything. Yeah, it's going to be recorded on that.
Yeah, no, we have. We've pretty good. We've got a lot of a few locals now down there that come out regularly to do mics. I've been encouraging them to come to Dayton and go do stuff up here and get out of Chillicothe. So see how your stuff
You're
works.
You're trying to run everybody. You're trying to get all the comics out of Chillicothe.
No, I'm trying to broaden their horizons. I want them, to see, because you know how it is. Your friends are always going to laugh at you, but if total strangers laugh at you, hey, you might be funny.
Yeah.
So yeah.
See, that's one thing I'd never done. I'd never got out of town with it. I think the
I went to West
furthest
Virginia
away was like Lima.
Did a show at the Hideout in West Virginia. And I was so nervous because these were people that don't know who I am. And I'm like, to me, that was like a true litmus test to see if my material is even remotely funny.
Yeah.
But it worked out great, because that would have been a long drive home if I would have ate it. Man.
That would have been a long drive home with a tummy full of penis.
Yeah. So much salt.
Yes.
Oh, look, I put a holly. I hit my lip with the mic.
Well, yeah, all that penis talk.
All that penis talk. I hit my lip on the mic.
And there we went. We were doing good.
Yeah.
We were doing good for like
great.
20 minutes.
I know. But I haven't slept and said the F word yet. And for me, that's a win.
Yeah.
I mean,
we just needed your friends to call in and use profanity on
right,
I need my
right.
friends to use
We got
profanity.
that out of the
beautiful.
way early.
And she was so polite about it. Oh, I'm so sorry.
And we got that out of the way in that first hour of the show, which doesn't count.
Right.
True.
Because I couldn't even play the intro, so it officially didn't start.
That might have been our best hour, though. Although this is going pretty well. But we've had some real talk.
Right.
Yes.
Which is
kind of what you were wanting to do anyway, right?
Show. No.
The opinions here are not. I'm sorry.
Okay, well, should we play some more music since we can now and take a little breather?
Yeah, let's play some music. I think it's my turn to pee.
Music. I thought it was your turn to pick a song.
Oh.
You don't know anything I have on here, so
I don't.
We got more Potter's Field. We can always do we can always do some older stuff. I don't know what.
Define older.
I don't even listen to the radio or anything. So
okay.
What I listen to is what I listened to 20 years ago. That's my.
All I usually play
Sinatra,
is stuff that I have from friends or people that submitted. So we'll just stick with Potter's Field.
There you go.
Scotty likes
Scotty.
them. Yeah.
His face isn't that red now. I think he's coming off the.
Yeah, I'm crashing.
Crashing
I'm going to have to punch him in the face to keep him awake.
All right, here we go. We're gonna play surprisingly a little more Potter's Field, and we will be back here shortly.
There's a reason they call them lazy Sundays. There's nothing better than sitting around and enjoying the comforts of a good book. But what book should that be? Well, every Sunday, Eventide brings you The Bookseller, hosted by Jessica Gillen. Each week, Jessica breaks down a different book and tells you everything you need to know before cracking it open and getting lost in a whole new world. Tune in every Sunday for The Bookseller with Jessica Gillen, brought to you by Eventide Entertainment. The weekend is over. Monday is here, but that doesn't have to be the end of your fun. Every week, Ellison Smith brings you a new episode of Saltwater Gaming, breaking down video games of all different genres, consoles, platforms, and eras. Get it all every Monday on Saltwater Gaming, brought to you by Eventide Entertainment. If there's one thing that's true about wrestling fans, it's how much they like to talk about wrestling. Join Aaron Lopez and Ben Norsworthy for the Top Rope Wrestling Podcast.
Let's get ready to rumble!
Tune in every episode and be ringside as these two break down all of the big matches in the world of professional wrestling. Brought to you by Eventide Entertainment.
You live here? Yes. Well, maybe you know what a zombie is. When a person dies and is buried, it seems there's certain voodoo priests who who have the power to bring him back to life.
How horrible.
It's worse than horrible because a zombie has no will of his own. You see them sometimes walking around blindly with dead eyes, following orders, not knowing what they do, not caring.
You mean like Democrats?
All right, we're Carlo. That's how we came back with that. We are back on the live radio show. Might pull your mic over.
Oh,
yeah. Since we're back,
well, I don't want to hit my lip on it again.
That's true. You got to be careful with these things. We're back on the live radio show. I'm your host Don Smith. Still sitting here with Scotty Mays and Lori Graves. It's been a fantastic last half of the show. But we're back. We were talking about saying random things because we were discussing whether it was Kegel or Kegel.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought it was. Is it Kegel? Is it Kegel? I don't know.
Kegel.
Kegel cakes.
I'll need an OBGYN to call in and confirm that pronunciation.
Right, because I'm doing them right now.
Okay, you're doing your Kegels.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Are you?
Don't crap.
Down there?
Yeah. It's weird.
Don't crap yourself.
It's like a little worm going in and out.
I was in the pool. There we go.
Well, you did take the pre-workout, so you might as well sit here and do something productive.
Here comes the rush again. So. The blood's going in the wrong direction.
I'll just move my chair over.
Yeah. And that's me pushing her, actually.
I don't want to be
She's not even doing that.
That's not the chair moving. That's Scotty,
I don't know.
actually.
Yeah, we say things weird, like creek and crick.
Yeah.
People, we say crick.
Yeah. Collar. Collard greens. How do you say that? Collard?
I don't. I've never
never
said
had
it in my life.
Have you ever had them?
Probably.
I like them.
You've had greens.
Oh, I'm sure I have.
Yeah. The kind you eat, not the kind you smoke.
Okay.
No, well,
you've had greens.
Yeah, I'm sure I have.
Do you guys say anything weird in Dayton? Do you pronounce anything weird here?
Heron.
Fentanyl. I don't know.
I was trying to keep it together. I can't do this alone. I can't do it alone.
Yep.
We're in this together.
I didn't mean to put the whole show on your shoulders.
It's
Lori,
okay, Dawn. I drove the farthest. I'll carry the show. Jeez, my bladder's the biggest. I'll know when I had to pee.
That's amazing.
I'll just do it all.
Totally amazed.
I failed today.
Yep.
Failed.
I'm just... Welcome to the life with Lori Graves. I'm your
I'll
guest.
be here every Wednesday.
Yeah.
That would be awesome.
Yeah, that would be a lot of fun. I haven't had a co-host in a while.
Oh,
you need one.
Who was your last co-host?
Well, I've had guest co-hosts, but
okay.
My last co-host. I think you were here when I had my last co-host.
Mike?
No. He. Jason Marshall, actually, because he would put parts of the Life Radio show on his podcast. Okay. We Don't Have Cookies.
Okay.
So yeah, that was my last co-host.
I don't remember that. I'm so sorry.
Oh, okay. It's all right. I tried to block some of it out too.
Okay.
PTSD.
Yep. There we go.
Triggered.
See, there we go. I got in trouble, and I'm on the air this time, so it don't matter. All right, should we hit some more news, or do we want to talk other things first?
Let's hit some news.
Let's hit some news. All right.
News.
This one is an Ohio news story. Residents of an Ohio neighborhood are lamenting the end of an era after city officials removed a kangaroo crossing sign that has stood for years. The sign, a silhouette of a kangaroo on a yellow diamond-shaped road sign, had been a local mystery for years after it was erected in 2014 at the side of a road in Clintonville neighborhood in Columbus. And the saga came to a close Monday when the City Department of Public Service had it removed. According to the city spokesman, Jeff Ortega, it is my understanding that this did not have a permit or any sort of agreement to have in the right-of-way, and it was removed after the city was made aware of it. From the city's perspective, it was an unregulated sign.
Well, and after LL Cool J stopped wearing bucket hats, I don't think it's necessary to have the kangaroo sign.
Oh, gotcha.
They noticed it 4 years later.
They're a little slow. Nobody said they were quick,
We removed it.
Well, they had to fully
it.
investigate it.
4 years later. I bet that was a lot of committees and millions of dollars.
Oh, yeah. It was $14 million investigation into the kangaroo crossing sign.
Columbus
they had
is full of potholes, but let's get that kangaroo sign out of the way.
Yeah, they had to have Jack Hanna come from the Columbus Zoo to look for any signs of kangaroo crossing, because they had to make sure they didn't remove it when there actually was a danger of kangaroos.
Was he looking for tracks?
Yeah, if he was looking for kangaroo tracks and scat would be like it.
Those signs are so big. I mean, they had to have, that took at least a day to put up. I'm sorry. It took at least a day.
Yeah. And I wonder if, who would randomly just put that up there? I mean, I guess somebody that.
You think anyone will ever come forward and admit they hung the sign?
Oh, no, because I'm sure there's a hefty fine for an unregulated sign out there.
Well, 4 years later, and there's some kind of limitations on that. I mean, between the erection and the tear down.
Between what?
Guys, make what I say.
Always
dirty.
time between the erection and the tear down. Which is.
Again, wrong term.
Yeah. A security camera in Florida captured the moment a man stealing a peacock was chased off by a flock of angry birds.
He keeps going with these stories.
Virginia Jasper said the camera was rolling Sunday morning when the man drove up to her Coconut Grove home in a burgundy pickup truck. The footage shows a man walking toward a flock of peacocks and chasing them in an attempt to grab one. The man is eventually able to get his hands on one of the birds and starts to flee, with the rest of the peacocks turning and chasing him as he gets away with one of their flock.
That had to be like a very colorful moment. Like, imagine just seeing that massive.
That's probably
peacocks.
That was probably the inspiration for the Oregon
What do you call a flock
travel
of
video
peacocks?
we talked about.
Like, you have a murder of crows. What are peakeeks? What are they?
A plume.
Anything in my mind I can't say on the radio, so I'm just going to keep going.
A bag of peacocks.
Yeah.
I ate a whole bag of peacocks the other night on stage.
I ate all the peacocks
All the
on
peacocks.
stage, all of them.
So colorful.
Sometimes in comedy you just eat a bag of peacocks.
Colorful bag of peacocks.
Let's start that. Everybody listening, we're going to say, when you
Hashtag
bomb next
peacock.
time, like, I ate all the peacocks. I ate everyone in the room.
Yep, hashtag bag of peacocks. Is that what I just heard? I'm writing that one down.
Write it down. Claim that, Don.
That's
Claim
the
it.
name of the show. That's the name of this episode is
Bag of-
hashtag
bag of
of peacocks. Because you got to name it something, and that's, because I really feel like we've eaten a bag of peacocks on this show today.
Hour 34, we came up with the name of the show. Hey.
Birds of a
Sometimes
feather
it takes a
peacock
while.
together.
No, that's not.
Oh, okay.
Hashtag bag of
I'm
peacock.
That's reaching.
Thanks, Sharon.
That's reaching. Pre-workout. It's reaching. Yeah. Sharon.
Low-hanging fruit.
Yep.
Never mind. I
Low-hanging.
can't say that either. Yeah.
Fruits.
Oh,
See, that's the thing. I could name every episode of the show low-hanging fruit, and it would
You really
apply.
could. Oh, my face is getting hot again.
Michelle said it's a muster of peacocks.
Is it a muster?
A muster?
That is so...
Good job, girl. Good job. That's one of my
Yeah.
friends. Thank you. Yeah.
A muster of peacock.
I've
Did you
never heard
Google that?
Yeah.
Oh, of course she did. But at least she took the time to do it.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Michelle. A muster of peacocks.
Look at that muster.
I still like bag.
Look at that bag.
Yeah, it's not as good a ring to as I ate a muster of
Eat a
peacock.
bag of peacocks. Yeah. I mustered
I
up
do
the
it-
courage to eat a bag of peacocks.
God. And
I
that's
do
okay? That's
appreciate the
acceptable?
information.
It is.
That's good.
Because I'm the oldest and I'm the girl.
Oh, okay.
So I get everything. Thank you. Female card played.
Yep.
Okay, there we
Awesome.
go. All right.
Woman power. Oh, look. You said that joke and 4 people dropped off my live feed.
I know.
They may be dead.
man.
That's what did it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
Like that was that moment.
I'm pretty
right
sure
there.
the hour and 36 minutes prior to this.
Well, there were plenty of reasons for
Everybody
those
was
4
looking at their
people
watch
to drop
like,
off.
oh, wait, who wears a watch?
Yeah.
But
Watch.
I don't.
some people are just zoned out on this. They're like,
Yeah.
damn, we've been watching this for an hour and 20 minutes.
I think
It's
been
like
floating in and out.
public
Yeah.
At
access.
this point, they're probably like, they're still on air? What, these people don't have lives? What are they doing?
And no, I
Yeah,
don't.
and they're still
I don't.
listening. That's the scary thing. And
They
that's
are, I know.
that's what happened why those 4 just decided to jump off. They were, for the last hour and 30 some minutes, they were
They were with us.
reevaluating their life.
She did Google
They
it.
were-
And they finally realized they did hit rock bottom. And they said, we got to change.
Justin is still here judging.
Hour 34, rock bottom. I hit rock bottom.
And our rock bottoms have a
Yeah.
trap door. It
Yeah,
only gets worse from here.
Sometimes. Phew, a
Well,
drunk-
what would you talk about, Justin? Amish
Yeah.
people? That's all. Yeah.
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 Yeah,
Justin.
Who's Justin?
What
Justin
do you got?
Wood
Who
is a
this
local
Justin?
comic in Chillicothe.
Oh, okay,
And
okay.
he's a very funny
Oh,
guy.
you
Very
with the
funny.
Uncle Tom thing still.
Very, I know. You
At
too.
Wiley's.
Now she said
Uncle
Uncle
Dow
Dow.
Thomas.
Oh, Dow Thomas. Okay. I don't have my glasses on, Michelle. Sorry.
He was well endowed.
Yeah. And Dowd Thomas.
I wonder if he ate a bag of peacocks.
I bet back in those days, with muster.
With mustard. Justin Wood, very funny guy. Very funny guy.
Love this man.
He's a funny dude. So check him out if you see him somewhere.
I will. Maybe we'll try to get him on the show, so that way he can judge.
You need to get him on the show.
Justin on,
get him
so
on the
I
show.
can sit and judge him.
Exactly. We'll have to do
Get
that.
me on
In
the
fact,
show.
I will come up here and I will sit right outside that window.
You can
and
sit on the
judge
couch
him.
back there.
Thank you. I will judge him.
You can sit over here get on this microphone and judge him verbally.
I want to be on the show just to stroke his beard.
My beard not enough for you, Scotty?
Well, you're way over there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
At least here, it's like.
Yeah,
Justin's blonde. So I think it's the blonde thing. The blonde mohawk, the blonde beard.
Oh,
guys,
okay,
kind of. It's a bonding blonde.
Yeah, it's the gray that does it.
Yeah, the gray might scare him. Daddy issues.
You don't know me. You do not know me.
Turn.
All right.
And now this is the processing part of the show.
Yes. I think at this point I've decided I've hit rock bottom. I'm going to leave your feed too.
And the state gave me a CDCA. What the hell were they thinking?
Yeah, they obviously don't listen to my show. Drunk Uber driver Uber user, not driver. A drunk Uber user. See, that mean he used too much? He's an Uber user.
Uber
user of
overuser.
Uber. Yep.
Uber.
Yep. A drunk Uber user was hit with a $1,635 bill after falling asleep and embarking on a 300-mile journey across 3 states. Kenny Bachman made the trip after a night out with friends in Morgantown, West Virginia. He decided to get the Uber to take him back to where he was staying, near West Virginia University's campus, and once inside the vehicle, he quickly passed out. He woke up 2 hours later to find the driver was instead taking him to his home in Gloucester County, New Jersey, more than 300 miles away. Mr. Bachman could not remember ordering the Uber and could not work out why a random man was driving him home.
So I'm going to apologize ahead of time, but was Bachman's driver Turner and they put it into overdrive?
Uber drive.
Look, we just lost all 9 viewers. They're all gone.
I said I was sorry.
That was Bachman Turner, an Uber driver, is what that was.
As a former student at West Virginia University, I can't tell you. I can see that happening. I can totally see someone drinking that much, blacking out, and calling an Uber to Jersey. Yeah.
Why not?
I don't remember a few evenings there still to this day.
Hey, so. I got so drunk one time.
Well, fortunately, they didn't have Uber at the time.
No, I couldn't call any carriages, so we were good.
It's hard to keep those candles lit for the headlights.
That's true.
The wind's always blowing them out.
Yeah. Well, fortunately, those carriages can't go that fast to blow them out. You got to have a little
Jebediah up there with his hand over the flame.
They actually have flashing lights now and stuff. So yeah, they do.
On carriages?
Yeah, I got some Amish next to me. Yeah,
Amish,
down where I live.
and they're allowed to use.
It's just a little
okay.
thing we say. Yeah, no, they do. They have flashing lights in the back, and then I saw one the other night that had green lights on the front, illuminating the front of the buggy. So when you're driving and they're coming at you, you can see them coming. It's dark. So
well, that's good. That's good.
Yeah,
like green inside, so like they're illuminated green.
It was a green light on the 4 corners of the front of the buggy. So
okay.
So yeah, they do that. But
you sure that wasn't an Amish UFO? It's an Amish alien.
Hey, I'd had some wine. I don't know.
With ground effects and hydraulics. I think I need to see just a horse bouncing down the street with hydraulics.
Did you watch Amish Mafia when it was on? Because
I
didn't
did not.
they do that? Didn't they have a souped up buggy race on that show?
Well, we're not going to talk about it because that's real. I'm not going to talk about it.
I'm
not going to throw the Amish Mafia under the buggy.
And we picked up a viewer on that one. We picked one up.
Really?
Right.
On that one?
On that one, we picked someone up on the buggy.
I don't even know if we want that one then.
It's about to get full rum screener up in here.
Probably Levi. Don't. Yeah. I loved that show.
I did too.
I loved Amish Mafia.
It was a guilty pleasure of mine.
Oh, I loved watching it.
I've never watched it.
I saw Wayne, by the way, in Ohio in Amish country. Well, I think it was him, and I'll tell you why. Mom and I were driving down the road in Amish country, and I saw a little person. And I'm thinking, how many little midgets are there? I mean, how many little midget Amish people are there? So it had to have been Wayne.
See, it's a midget Amish. Would that be an omelet?
I'm tired, Don. I'm tired. I've been carrying this show for 1 hour and 42 minutes.
He was so excited to
I was
say
about
that.
to crack.
And
eventually.
nobody liked my omelet.
Cracked omelet. Oh,
Why is Greg booing us?
Probably the
omelet.
I don't know.
Oh,
We're delayed.
I get Bachman Turner and Uber Drive is okay, but
We're going to have to binge watch
omelet.
Amish Mafia together one day. I would love to do that.
That's a date.
I love it. I love it.
Man, that was a tough crowd.
That was. I gotta hand it to you, man. That was pretty
That was good.
good.
Thank you for bringing that. Was
And
good.
Wayne was scary. I've never been. Well, actually, I was terrified of one midget when I was 14, and that was a true story I shared on stage with a pocket knife he pulled out on me. But anyway,
wow.
go ahead.
You shared it on stage with a pocket
That was
knife
the
he pulled out on?
very first comedy set I ever did. Was I told that story of when I was 14 of super soakers and a midget and a pocket knife.
Yeah. Sounds like a good time.
Have you told those jokes since?
I've embellished it a little bit.
Good, yeah.
But I took the super soaker aspect out of it because, I don't know, just didn't have a lot of confidence in it. And it was more of a feeler to see if I was even funny. Because my kids were there that night, and they looked at me and were like, are you even funny? How's this going to work for you?
Okay, I got
But, Nate Washington pulled me aside and said, dude, keep writing. You got something going there. And that really is what inspired me, that spark. Karen giving me that opportunity to get up on stage and Nate Washington pulling me aside after that.
Both good people.
Yeah. I've looked up to him ever since.
Good people.
So. And now you. I look up to you.
Well,
yeah, you inspire me.
Oh, I'm glad.
And Don, you're okay.
I don't want to inspire anybody, Scotty. I don't even want to inspire me.
I got a bag of peacocks.
Yeah. Scotty got a bag of peacocks on pre-workout.
I had a bag of peacocks with my omelet joke. Apparently bears are allowed to vote in Russia, or at least people in bear costumes. During Sunday's national election, a voter in a Siberian town of, I'm not even going to try to pronounce that, which is actually, I think, the official name of the town, more than 3,500 miles east of Moscow, a voter decided to show up dressed as a bear. Russian government-controlled Sputnik News reported that the unnamed voter scared a few people with his loud roar, but that most people seemed amused because it's Russia and nobody gives a damn in Siberia, apparently. However, there were some challenges. For one, the bear could barely fit in the voting booth. Saturday's election, I thought it was on Sunday. Yeah, this is, I think there's a typo here in this news story. Fake news. Yeah, they're just making days up now. I'm going to stick with Sunday because that's what I said first. Sunday's election reportedly attracted other creatively dressed voters as well, including one dressed as a panda and one dressed as a yeti. Russian President Vladimir Putin won election to a fourth term by a landslide. Go figure.
Of course he did.
But exit polls don't list a breakdown of people who voted in a costume. So we will never know how the bear voted.
Yeah.
Or the panda, which a panda is a bear. So that's why would you list that separately?
And do we really know what a yeti is? I mean,
not yeti.
Not yeti.
I'm sorry.
Where is the gong? Where can we get a gong in here next time?
We need one, but then we would have heard that the whole show. It's been nothing but a gong. They'd have thought it was some kind of musical.
I like how it's named
thing.
Sputnik News.
Sputnik News.
That is, that's cute.
Yeah, Sputnik News.
It's the only thing they have to be proud of.
How big?
But the rest of, it's the only name in that news story I could pronounce.
I wonder how big the guy was wearing the bear, or was it a woman? I mean, if they couldn't fit in the booth.
Well, they didn't know. Maybe it was just a very big bear suit.
Did their photo ID match? I wonder.
It was Russia, so it could have actually been a bear, and just nobody really realized.
That's pretty embarrassing.
Yeah, and they just assumed.
That's
right.
So I was going to comment about a hairy woman, but I guess.
Yep. Yep. How did they know it was a bear? Because he said, "I'm here to vote."
Really?
That was funny. That amused me. Yeah, that amused me.
Anyway, as far as fake documentation goes, it certainly needed some more work. An unidentified driver in Milton Keynes, Southern England, presented a spoof Homer Simpson driver's license to police during a traffic stop last Sunday night. In addition to the bogus Simpsons identity document, officers also discovered the man was driving without insurance. Go figure. Homer didn't have insurance. The driver's car was seized, and he was reported for driving with no insurance and driving without a proper license.
Oh!
Nope! I was waiting for that one. And that's our show. Thanks for tuning in.
I held it together until hour 47 minutes, and I can't do it again. I just can't do it.
I am so sorry, right, State?
It's funny. At this point, I'm just watching the seconds click. Two. Yeah.
Well, that's why they put that clock up there, so they can just say, okay, how much longer?
Justin Wood wants more bear puns.
I'm not very
Sorry.
good at them. Sorry.
What's that?
We're back up to 10 now.
Yeah.
10 lonely people.
Wow, that's
that are watching us.
They're all stoned.
Yep.
Zoned
Or they're
out.
at work and they don't have anything else to do.
Yeah.
Right.
They're
They're gauging how good their life is.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I'm
Like,
okay.
it's not so bad today.
It's all the comics listening because, like I
Losers.
said, all these comics like to watch people bomb. So there's
Yes.
3 of us right now.
I
They're just
know.
eating a big bag of peacock.
Eating all the peacocks. All
Every
the peacocks.
single one.
Every single one.
Okay, newly declassified video obtained by research company shows a fast-moving UFO off the East Coast, as it was tracked by 2 U.S. Navy pilots in 2015. It's unclear what the object is, hence the unidentified part. And the pilots are heard laughing and shouting as they attempt to track it. Wow, what is that, man? One of the pilots says in the video, look at that flying. That's really good writing.
Yes.
The footage was released late last week by To the Stars Academy of Arts and Science, a private research and media firm, which also provided analysis of the clip. I said it. Omelet.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna let that go for now.
Whew. Bag of peacocks. What's that?
Oh, I'm on one, man. I'm on.
He is riding the pre-workout train right now.
Oh, it's all bad.
That's the pre-workout. You're chasing the pre-workout dragon. Oh, I can't even continue with this news story.
Yeah, look at that flying.
UFO.
Anyway.
Yeah, look at that flying
What
UFO
was that?
thing.
Yeah, I want to look that up.
Yada,
I believe
yada.
in, I'm an alien person. I want to look that up. I believe in that stuff. All of it. All of it.
All of it. All of it. Have you ever seen something that makes you believe in it, or do you just
Yes, I have.
really
in
want
the
to
sky.
believe in it?
Yes, I've seen a couple different things that I could not explain to myself.
Okay, because I know we've had Dan Dean in, and he swears by chupacabras.
I think there's a basis to all that stuff, like even vampires and stuff. I think there's that stuff. It has to come from
vampires.
something,
There
you know?
actually is a disease that's similar to it.
Was
I
it
can't-
porphyria? I'm not pronouncing it correctly. I'm sure.
Something,
it
yeah,
is a
something
disease
along
where,
that. Yeah.
I did a research paper on this in
Yeah.
high school. I tried to prove vampires were real.
So yeah,
I think they used to be.
I think it's called impaleosis, which started in
the
No,
Paleolithic.
you're talking about Vlad the Impaler, my friend. We're talking my language finally at 151. No, I do. I think there's. I don't know. I think there's aliens. I think there's lizard
Well, it
people.
took a while, but we got there.
Yeah, that stuff's real. Don't count that stuff out.
What about the spirit world and ghosts and all that? How much of the
I do think that.
the occult is that all the occult
I think
stuff?
there's something to the supernatural.
I do. I think there's just so much stuff that different cultures have so many different relatable stories about all of this stuff that there has to be some basis of truth to it.
And I'm a
Where would it
horror
come
movie
from?
fanatic, so there's a lot of truth in those
And see,
movies.
I don't watch horror movies. I can watch a vampire movie. I will go chase ghosts, but I cannot watch a scary movie. Terrified. Hate
Chase
them.
ghosts. Have you gone to
Yes.
on a ghost hunt before?
Me and my mom. I've been to Waverly Hills Sanatorium. We've been to Eastern State Penitentiary. That show Taps. We
Mhm.
used to try to go to the places where they went. So
'Cause I had a friend that worked for them at one time.
really, yeah. Some of that stuff you can't explain. Now, some of it is kind of, it's dust particles, but there are some things you can't explain.
See, I've never seen something that has made me a believer. I've always thought it'd be neat to see something. I was actually cast in a movie several years ago that was going to be filming at Bobby Mackey's Music World down in Kentucky, which have you heard of? Bob? Yeah.
Yeah.
Which reading about that place, it's like we were going to be filming there at night.
Ooh.
And I was thinking, man, this is so cool. Because if you don't know about Bobby Mackey's Music World, it was built on what used to be an old slaughterhouse.
Oh, nice.
And they would drain all the animal blood into the basement, and there was this big well down there. So it was a literal well of blood. And after the slaughterhouse closed down, and of course it was a well of blood still, it became part of a kind of a satanic cult hangout, and there were several murders down there that went unsolved. There was one woman, Bailey Pearl, I think it was, who was beheaded, and nobody they never found her head. And the guys that did it were caught, and they would not, they could basically get life in prison if they gave up the location of her head, but they wouldn't do it because they said the punishment they would receive in the next world would be far worse than anything they could do if they gave that information up. Just really creepy stuff like this. And I mean, it continued through. This was back in the 1800s that all this happened, and it continued in the 20s. It was a speakeasy, and there were several murders there. And in the 60s, it was a nightclub, and there were several murders. And then in the 80s, Bobby Mackey bought it, who's a musician, and his wife had all kinds of problems there. And I really wanted to go film this thing, and then their funding fell through, and we didn't get to go. But I was very disappointed.
You just couldn't get ahead of the funding, huh?
There you go. There you go.
And you sat there and worked on that one, didn't you?
Yeah, you were stretching, man.
Yeah,
Actually made my head hurt a little bit.
Wheels were turning to come from that one. Yeah. That'd be cool. I haven't been there. I'd like to go there, though.
And unfortunately, that's where we have to end today.
Okay.
At Bobby Mackey's Music World.
Mackey's Music World. So we're gonna
head
head down there after the show.
Look, I'm pulling Scotty Mays now.
I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of you.
Anyway, usually this is where I thank people for listening. Today it's where I'm going to apologize to people who listened. No, do you have any shows coming up? Any shows either of you guys want to throw out there right now that we can advertise to the handful of people?
I got a handful of shows coming up in April, but it's still March, so I'm not even getting there yet.
Okay.
Yeah, I got Grove City Brewing Company on Thursday, Jerry's West on Friday, Adelphi, the Corner Pub at Adelphi on Saturday, and the big one, 31st, is Vince Morris, Majestic Theater in Chillicothe.
Cool. Showtime
7:30 p.m. You can get tickets on Majestic or ChillicotheMajestic.net. Still plenty of good seats left, or you can choose the balcony. That theater's haunted too. We'll talk about that some other time.
Awesome.
You need to plug your show.
Yeah, plug
next
your
weekend.
show, man.
Yeah, next weekend, August. March 30th and omelet. March 30th and 31st, the Bag of Peacock.
The Bag of Peacock.
Bag of Peacock.
We're changing the name.
Can we do a show at Wiley's called Bag of Peacocks? The three of us be on it.
Oh, that would be fun. No, the Cry for Help tour with Dale Blomquist. You're gonna be on that one?
Yes,
you
sir.
Said?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
Scotty
you're
will be
headlining
there.
the 31st, right?
Yeah, the 7:15 show. I'll be headlining.
Okay.
That one.
I can't remember which one I'm on. I should probably get with Dale and find out.
We'll muster some details together.
Muster some details and go eat a joint bag of peacocks. All right. On that note, I apologize for you listening, and we might be back next week. Nothing's guaranteed. Yeah, probably. See you then. This has been the Life Radio Show on WWSU 106.9 with your host, Don Smith. The Life is also available in podcast form on iTunes, PodBean, Stitcher, Spreaker, Blueberry, and YouTube, as well as on Eventide Entertainment's podcast network. Be sure to like the Life Radio Show on Facebook, and if you have any comments or suggestions, email thelife1069@gmail.com. Thanks for listening. Now get out there and enjoy some live comedy this week. You can check out wileyscomedy.com for all your upcoming shows.
Presence overwhelms me. The brutal presence overwhelms